I would like to introduce you to my ex-wife, Nicole, who is 34 years old, and I'm Daniel, who is 27 years old. My first encounter with Nicole was in a park where I used to run every day when I was younger. She came with her child so that they could spend some time together. During our conversation, she told me that she was a single mother. In spite of the fact that her husband divorced her a year ago, she did not tell me anything about her ex, nor did I ask her anything about him. The lady was very nice and her child was also adorable, that I started playing with him right away. Our friendship began when we met in the park 2 or 3 times and we got to know each other. Afterwards, we exchanged phone numbers with each other. Due to the fact that she was a single mother, I became interested in her. In addition to that, it appears that she was also interested in me. In the beginning, we met and hung out because she had to bring her son to various places for enjoyment and she always invited me along with her. Without a doubt, I enjoyed them and had a great time. I was getting attached to both Nicole and her child at the same time. There was no doubt in my mind that I had begun to fall in love with her. In light of this, I decided to plan a marriage for her. I invited her to dinner. Then she came and after eating dinner, I sat on my knees in front of her and proposed her. Her response to the proposal was that she accepted it. As a matter of fact, I wanted to be her husband because, truth be told, I liked being around mature women. As a mature woman and an elder to me, she was a very special person to me. Having a mature wife was also a wish of mine because it was also about having a sexual relationship with her. Consequently, it was a natural thing for me to be attracted to her as soon as I met her for that reason. Once I was invited to a party at Nicole's house. It was a nice experience to meet Nicole's parents and her siblings. They were all very pleasant people. Anyways, I was able to get married to the love of my life. Nevertheless, we were living a fine life and everything was going well for us. I sometimes felt neglected due to Nicole's child, but I accepted that as a part of my acceptance of her motherhood. Before we were married, I had this idea in my head and I accepted it. I planned a honeymoon trip for myself and Nicole to enjoy together. There was a lot of fun to be had and we really enjoyed it. In the first 2 months from the date of our marriage, one day as I was walking along the road on my way home from work, after a few hours of work, something strange caught my eye. In a car, I saw Nicole sitting with a guy beside her. As I was looking at the car, it passed me. There was something odd about it because she did not tell me that she was going to meet someone. However, I returned home and waited for her there until she arrived. In the late hours of the night, around 11 p.m., she came back home to her room. In response to my question concerning where she was, she replied that she was with her best friend who was visiting from Canada. My next question was about the number of friends she had. It was only one that she said. My first thought was that it was a red flag, which led me to ask her again, "Are you sure?" It was with a fearful look on her face that she answered what had happened. She had no idea that I had seen her in the afternoon with a man. However, I was sure that something was wrong with her because she was hiding the fact that she met a guy. Additionally, I noticed that she had started using her cell phone late at night. When I woke up at about 1 a.m. one night, she was not in the house and the car was not in the garage either. Until she came back, I was awake until she came back. She came back to the house at 6 a.m. in the morning. The first thing I asked her was where she was. Instead of answering me, she asked me, "When had you woken up?" In my lie, I said that I woke up 1 hour ago, but I really did not. The woman said after listening to this, she felt upset and got out for a walk to breathe in fresh air in the morning after listening to this. All of a sudden, I had no doubt that she was cheating on me and everything had become clear. It really made me feel like I was a fool when she recently married me, then started cheating on me. There was something about this thought that was killing me. She could just say no to my marriage proposal if she was not interested in me and did not want to marry me. The only thing I wanted to know was that what she was doing behind my back. My health prevented me from going to work that day, and I requested a leave of absence from the office, and they allowed me to stay home that day. There were thousands of thoughts running through my head at the same time. There was a feeling of sickness in me as well. My life was almost destroyed by her. One of the biggest things that hurt me was the fact that I fell in love for the first time with someone, and she cheated on me. In order to get revenge on her, I decided to take action. In a fit of rage, I broke the table at which I was sitting because my temper was getting out of control. There was a glass that I threw at the mirror and it broken. The house is a mess because I made a mess in it. At that time, I sat still on the floor because I could not get out of the pain I was experiencing in my heart. My hand was bleeding, but I did not write that down in anger, as I did not want to see anything else. She came back with the child in tow. It was as if my wife was in shock and asked me in astonishment what had happened in our household. When she came to see my bleeding hand, she started giving my first aid as soon as she saw what had happened. There was a silence in the room. Whenever I saw her, I felt like my body and brain just froze up because of her. It was then that I told her that nothing had happened and I was just angry with my friend. Having decided that I would expose her and get my revenge, I decided to get out of the house immediately. I sat there in the car, drove to the parking lot, and cried for a long time. During that 2 hours that I spent crying in the car, and I did not remember when I fell asleep in the car, but I saw my cell phone and Nicole called me at least 50 times during that time. After sleeping for 3 hours, I awoke, got back home as soon as possible. I felt a bit relaxed because I had released some frustration that had been building up inside of me. I then arranged for spy cameras to be installed throughout the house and began setting them up. Her bag had to be fitted with a spy cam that she had to use every time, whether she was going out or not. Although it was quite difficult, once she got back, she went into the washroom and left her bag on the sofa. When I got the chance, I hid the spy camera in my purse. In accordance with my plan currently, I had to leave the house for 3 days, and I told her that I was damn sure that she would definitely do something with her affair partner during the time I was away. While I was on the vacation with my friend, all my attention was focused on Nicole and she was the center of my attention. When I finally got back to my house, I felt relieved. The way I was preparing to be with her was very nice. Once she had gone to sleep, I checked all the recordings in the house. However, I did not find anyone in my search, which was disappointing since I thought she could have called her affair partner at home while I was away. I forgot to check the recordings of the camera I had hidden in her purse before I went out for the night. In regard of the recordings, I was in a state of confusion for 2 days. Then I thought that I should wait until I could find some clue about what to do. I started calling her, but she had not met someone for a week. As I was going to sleep, my eyes caught the purse. I immediately checked the spy camera recordings, finding out that she had made daily visits to the hotel while I was out of the town. She also slept with the man whom she had an affair. I now had evidence that she had been unfaithful to me. Nevertheless, I had arranged for divorce papers to be made, so I received them, and the next day when she came, I asked her to sit near to me. Then I told her that I would like to show you something, and my hope is that you will enjoy what I did as much as I did it. Then she asked me, what do you mean by that? So then I opened my phone and showed her the videos in which she had been fucked. In shock, she told me we would talk about what had happened in the last month, and I wanted to tell you what happened, but I was afraid that you would be angry at me because of this. Although I said it doesn't matter, I would still like to know the answer to this question. It was sad that this time man was blackmailing me and that he had my few videos and I had to do whatever he told me to do. Please try to understand that I was apprehensive about doing that. My awareness of the fact that she was lying to me was just the forefront of my mind. In response to your question, I asked if you still think I will believe you. As she said, please try to understand what I am going through. The answer I gave was yes, I understand. I think that you should do whatever I told you to do. In response, she said, "Okay, I'll do whatever you tell me to do." Then I told her to call her application and tell him to come over here to fuck me. "Are you crazy?" she asked me. I told her to do what I said, and she replied that she would never do what I said. As agreed, I will be sending all the videos in the family WhatsApp group to which all the friends and family of Nicole have been added. There was a lot of begging and crying on her part. In response, I said that I would send the videos as soon as possible. She said, "Okay, I'm gonna call him," and she just did that. After that, I said I would be there in another room and he would fuck you while I was there. There's something I wanted to do for me. As she told me, "Please don't do this to me." In my response, I said, "Thank you, you want me to send videos in a group." According to her, he'll be coming soon. In my reply to her, I told her that you don't dare tell your fucker about me and fuck him, otherwise you'll know what can be done to you. As I was in the other room and I had locked the door, I sent all the videos in a group and shared the screen with everyone immediately so that we were able to watch them via camera from the other room. She had sex with him and she had her friend and family watching everything that they were doing. They reached the house after a while and we were still in the room. The first thing I did was get everyone towards the room and break the door, which was witnessed by everyone in the room. This was such a shameful scenario for all of us that I gave her a divorce as soon as possible and got her out of my house along with her new bed partner. It seemed like everyone was cursing her because of what she had done, and she was crying. As part of the sharing of these videos with the group, I also uploaded her videos to the social media accounts. Now she would be destroyed, crying for her own life and weeping for all her shame for what she had done. It was all because she played with my feelings in such a way. The event in her life can be considered as one of the worst things that had ever happened to her, and finally my revenge was complete. Now that I had done this, I felt a sense of satisfaction, and I felt free spiritually and physically since I had done this. Keep following the channel for more interesting revenge stories, and don't forget to hit the bell icon of the page.